We left. We cried. I kind of wanted to punch Aqib Talib in the face, but we're not. We're not. He was kind of being a dick. Let's be honest. But anyway, Super Bowl 50 is in the books. I can't believe it's. It seems like only a couple months ago the season started. You know, a short 6, 7, whatever it was months ago. And it's done. It's done. It'll never happen again until, you know, the end of August, September. But any initial thoughts on the game last night?
I'd hate to say I'm surprised. I'm waiting for the echo to go away. That's why I'm talking to myself. It's not going away, but that's great. There he goes. I hate to say I'm surprised because I'm not. I guess I'm a little surprised that it was as lopsided as it was, but I think coming into the game, we knew that Denver's defense was for real. You know, they were number one in the league. They've shown it time and time again. They've beaten great teams, including the Ravens in Week 1. You know, that's where it started. It was because of us. It was because of us that they won the Super Bowl. You know, we're the only reason. But you know, initial thoughts. I got to see Joe Flacco. Yeah, I was so hyped. I don't know how you felt. You know, watching random Colts come out at times. But I got to see Joe Flacco, and he was walking with a pimp swag, and I was like, yeah, I was so excited. I don't can't even like duplicate my response. But you know, so before the game, I was already excited because I didn't know they were going to do that whole like presentation thing, and I didn't expect him to come out walking. This is going to be a Joe Flacco like rant right now. Joe Flacco positive rant. I didn't expect him to come out walking, but I'm hyped now for the next season, baby. It is time. Well, it's not time. We got some months, but it's almost time for the next season. But as far as the game is concerned, though, it was just surprising that it just felt like the Panthers didn't make any adjustments throughout the entire game. I don't know if you. I'm trying not to tell too much because I don't. You said initial thoughts, and I feel like I'm getting into it a lot. So,
I mean, we can kind of get into it because I didn't really plan anything. I just wanted to kind of come on and talk about our thoughts about the game in general.
Okay, my issue with Carolina is it felt like the entire night they didn't make any adjustments. I watched them play. I mean, I watched the whole game, and I watched pretty much every snap. And it just seemed like from the start, they were flustered. They looked like kind of the young team that they are. They looked like the unexperienced team that they are. And it just seemed like they never made any adjustments. You would see the same plays from the Broncos over and over and over again, it felt like, especially on defense. And it felt like there was just no adjustment for them because the Panthers defense played good enough to win the game. It was just that the Panthers offense couldn't move the ball. It was a play. It was funny because one of my friends was like, "They're stacking the box. You know what to do." You know what I mean? And because the Broncos were stacking the box, they give the ball to Cam, and there was no like quick route for him to throw it to. And I don't know if that's because it was covered up because I couldn't really tell from the angle, or if that was just because they just didn't adjust. But I was really confused on that because like you would watch Denver come up, stack the box, and blitz. You know, not even stack the box and bail out of it. They would stack the box and blitz, and then the Panthers would have no answer for it. And I just thought it was weird. I didn't really understand why they could not do anything, run a screen, you know, throw the ball to the flats, do something to kind of stymie the blitz a little bit, throw it to the tight end or something. Because I don't even know if Greg Olsen caught the ball last night, but I don't know. It was just weird, man. Like it was weird because we've seen the Panthers be so dominant the entire year, and the Broncos, you know, really haven't been. Their defense has been good, but as far as offensively, they really haven't been, and they weren't that good last night. Their defense just played well enough to win. I've heard a lot of comments on the game talking about how boring it was, and and that's probably because there wasn't a lot of scoring. But it was a defensive game. You got two top tier defensive teams who haven't really. The Panthers have played better offensively than the Broncos have, but there hasn't been a lot of offense from either team this entire year. So I don't know. And about that press conference, I'm gonna let you get into your thoughts before I talk about that.
I mean, it was. I can't say it was a bad game because I don't think it was a bad game. It was just like you said, Denver's defense just they overcame the Panthers, and it was almost weird at times because it was like the Panthers almost had a perfect season except for that one loss. It's like, are we really watching a team that almost had a perfect season and they're playing this bad tonight? And I mean, part of it, is going to be, they're a young team. They've only been a team since like '97, I think, was their first year. So in that effect, they're a young team, and they have a lot of young players too. A lot of those guys have never been to a Super Bowl before. There was only, I think, a handful that have on the Panthers that have actually been to a Super Bowl, and even less that actually won. I think I want to say probably Michael Orr was one of the only ones that has.
Yeah. I remember who he won the Super Bowl with. Yeah, I remember that Super Bowl. It was a good one.
But I mean, it was like watching a completely different team. They couldn't protect Cam. He couldn't get the ball down the field. And I mean, on the Denver side too. Denver had trouble getting the ball down the field, but they did better, obviously. And it was a defensive game. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the Panthers didn't at least get some more, defensive, touchdowns or something, more field goals. You at least get down to get another field goal. It was so weird watching such a lopsided game. It was almost like watching the last time the Denver was in the Super Bowl. That lovely game. But I mean, I was kind of, I had mixed feelings about it because I wanted the Panthers to win. I always talk about how, I want a team that hasn't necessarily been there or hasn't won it before to get a chance to win it, just because, it gives them a chance to prove that they can do it. And I think the Panthers could do it. It's just they didn't play well last night. But at the same time, we all kind of wanted, Peyton to get that win. We're still not really sure, if he's retiring. He's probably retiring, but he left it a little bit vague at the end there. He said he was going to reflect and everything, but it was just, I didn't expect it to be that lopsided. I didn't. For a Super Bowl, you expect a really good game, and when you get a game like that, it's kind of like you're left kind of not necessarily disappointed, but kind of underwhelmed, I guess. But do you want to talk about the press conference?
Yeah, I don't understand. I said this in the predictions. I don't understand. Well, I didn't say this exactly, but I said, around about this. I don't understand why people are getting so upset at Cam for the press conference. Number one, he hasn't really lost a game this big ever. He's been successful pretty much everywhere he's went. Number two, he did lose the biggest game. And, you got to think, he kind of felt like he was a little vulnerable. He kind of felt like his hands were tied behind his back because he couldn't do anything. Like, all he could do is, snap the ball and hope that his line could protect him, which they didn't. And, I don't understand all the hate going towards Cam. He showed his respect to Peyton Manning afterwards, had a big smile on his face. If you haven't seen that picture, go find it. And plus you had Talib kind of talking in the background, putting him down and whatnot, which, is all within the fun of the game. But, you still got to think he's he's been successful everywhere he's been, and this is his first like really, really, really big loss. And he was the same way his first two seasons when they couldn't really win any games, couldn't really get any traction. And people are like, well, he can go and he can dab and he can take selfies and he can give footballs to kids and everything. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a really high high compared to his really low lows. And plus, he's still learning how to lose too. You got to think about that too. He's if you're successful for that long, you kind of got to learn how to lose and how, especially at the NFL level, how to kind of answer questions at press conferences. And it's not going to happen at your first Super Bowl. It's not going to be something that you're going to be able to deal with at your first Super Bowl. And he's always been this emotional. So I don't get the big deal. If for all of my proof of that I'm right, because I believe that I'm right. Um, you know, Find me on Facebook if you haven't already, and look at all the articles that I've shared. It's only been like two. All the articles that I've shared about this today, just because I've been in so many debates today about this, and I just don't understand it, because I feel like they're taking notice of him when he's very positive and very hyped up, but then they're just happening to see him get negative now.
Yeah, and I think it'll change in the next couple weeks because obviously right after the game you're going to be upset. Anybody's going to be upset. Guys that have been in the NFL for 18. If Peyton lost, he would have been upset. I mean, he would have been able to kind of. I don't even want to say be more mature about it because I feel like I don't want to say that, Cam was immature, but, it was his first Super Bowl. So obviously he's going to be upset. But I think, he's mature enough that in a couple weeks, in the next coming months, you're going to realize that, hey, yeah, we didn't win, but we made it to the Super Bowl. That's a huge achievement. There's still teams that have never been to the Super Bowl. Jacksonville, Houston,
And teams that haven't been in a long time, the Cincinnati Bengals. Sorry,
but I mean, like, you made it there, so you have a good enough team to, obviously, teams change every year with, contracts coming up, trades, the draft and everything. So you're not going to have the exact same team that you had. But I mean, I think they're going to have a good enough team that they could make it again. If they were.
But also too, and you got to think, his best receiver has been out the entire year, and he's still been able to play at a high level. So imagine when Kelvin Benjamin gets back and he's able to pair up with some of these other young receivers that have shown some promise. It seems like Cam kind of looked flustered the entire game though. You could tell. I don't know if he was nervous or if kind of the big stage got to him or something, because he's usually very accurate, but it felt like I was playing Madden with him yesterday, as inaccurate as they are in Madden. It felt like I was playing Madden with him yesterday, like watching him just overthrow easy throws. It felt like.
Yeah, and it just wasn't. I feel like it just wasn't the same Cam that we're used to. We're used to Cam, escaping the pocket and running for extra yards, and he just, again, it was a mix of Denver's defense and him just being flustered, and I think it's a mix of a lot of things. Just the fact that he was in the Super Bowl. It's the biggest game he's ever been in, so you're going to be flustered anyway. But at the same time, when your line can't help you, when your receivers can't get open, and I think didn't his running back get hurt for a while there? I thought he got.
Yeah, Jonathan Stewart had the knee issue. He got rolled up on, I think, or got bent backwards.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can put too much onto Cam himself. I mean, it's the team. They were having issues even with the field. the turf, I guess, was causing issues for both teams. So it wasn't a deflate gate thing. It wasn't. It was the turf. It was all good. I mean, I think Denver, watered it down a little bit, but it's cool. But yeah, so about that halftime show,
I like the halftime show. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. I love the tribute to Michael Jackson by Beyonce with the outfit she was wearing. Definitely like that. I actually watched Michael Jackson. I haven't watched all of it. I watched some of it earlier. Thing was amazing. But I definitely liked this halftime show. I thought it was pretty good. I'm surprised. One thing, especially with Drake's popularity, I'm surprised he wasn't kind of invited to the Super Bowl this year, especially because this has kind of been the year of Drake's rising popularity. It seems like. And maybe they'll get him for next year. I'm not sure if they'll even invite like a rap artist to be the premier, singer guy premier artist. That's what I look for. Premier artist for the Super Bowl. I'm wondering if they'd actually do that because I would love to see a guy like Drake come on there. And Drake's versatile to where he can work with different bands and different other musicians. That's not necessarily in the R&B portion.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could. I think they've had rappers in the past do it. I mean, Nelly did it a couple. I think 99. I think he did in 99. But yeah, that would be cool. But Beyonce almost fell. Just I wanted to point that out that had happened and she almost fell and
she almost did. But did you see that catch though? That recovery was true.
I mean, if the Panthers only had a recovery like that, and they might have won. They might have won.
It's crazy. They were in that game the whole time until that very last touchdown. Like they were in that game the whole time. They were only 9 points down for the longest time.
Yeah. I don't understand how they couldn't, there had to have been something. And I don't understand why they didn't make adjustments, it felt like Ron Rivera the whole time, the whole game was like, it's going to work out. We're going to work out. Like, I think he was high the whole game. I think he was just stoned the whole game because he had the same reaction the beginning of the game, then in halftime. And I was like, you're not going to make any adjustments. You're not going to change anything. You're just going to this isn't just a regular season game. This is a Super Bowl. This, it's kind of the biggest game of the season. You might want to change something. But I mean, again, young coaching staff too. I feel like I don't know if he's ever been to the Super Bowl himself on any other coaching staff, but I don't know.
I don't know if you caught this though. Both of these guys are John Fox replacements.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of what we wanted to come on and talk about. I mean, other than, questioning if I haven't heard anything official if Peyton is going to retire, if he's going to, retire with Denver, if he's going to do what a lot of other guys have done and, retire where he started. I know, was it Dwight Freeney, I think, went back to the Colts. A couple other guys and other guys who went back to their original team, which I think would be cool. But it's Peyton, so he can retire anywhere. But I'm just happy that now both of them, Peyton and Eli, have 2 Super Bowl rings. So Eli can't hold it over Peyton anymore. He can't be like, hey, Peyton, Merry Christmas. By the way, look, Two.
One,
I don't know if
one more
that's
thing. I
actually.
don't know if you caught this either, but when I was watching the Manning family in the press box, the entire Manning family excited. Eli. I don't know if you caught that, but I just thought it was funny because he was just stone faced. Let me see if I can find a picture real quick. I don't know if you saw it, but here's a picture of the whole family. Let me screen share real quick. Oh man, I just thought it was really funny. Everybody excited. Eli. What? I just thought it was funny, man. I was like, Eli's not happy.
He looks confused and mesmerized at something. He's like, what? I think the man high. I think he was.
What it was Beyonce. He was still thinking like Beyonce in the moment, and it hit him right then. Like he was like, oh, Beyonce was performing. Man, that's what it was.
No. It wasn't Beyonce. It was all the colors. During the halftime show, he was like, what? There's so many colors. They're so vivid. That's what it was. I don't know. But yeah, that's what we're gonna talk. I was gonna do, another video on a certain other individual retiring, but Justin did that earlier, so it's cool. No, it's cool. He didn't wait for me or anything. I didn't want to talk about Daniel Bryan retiring. It's cool, Justin. Are you watching? You're not watching, but it's cool, Justin, when you watch this. But we will see you on, I'm going to say it, on the flippity dippity. That's what happened in the beginning of the game, the coin toss. They flippity dippity. We'll see you on the flippity dippity. Peace out, Cub Scout.